morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Grand Rising. Getting that mat together. Also looking for my stand for my phone. I don't know where it is. Grand Rising. Good morning, good morning. Trying to find a way to prop this up. Grand Rising. Good morning. Let's try to play some music. Good morning, everyone. I am all smiles this morning because my brother visited me. How amazing is that? It's pretty amazing. Yo, congrats to us getting it in 6 days in a row. Here we go. When you are visited by the ancestors. Hello. There's a wonderful, I'm playing a YouTube CD. It's for the chakras, and it's called Frequencies, Sound of Healing, and that is primal ground. It's chanting for the chakras, right? And so you can play these frequencies they have for each chakra, right? And just kind of sit, lay, do your practice, write, whatever. I'm only allowed to play a little bit because, they stay blocking my videos in these spaces. let's begin. Today, we're going to begin on our knees because I am grateful. I lit my candles. I am grateful. Today, I'm moving with this energy of being visited, of the visit, being visited by my brother this morning. And I know he knows we need him, especially during these times, especially during this weekend when it marks the 2 years of his transitioning. But he looks so fucking good, yo. My brother looked good. My brother looked like a pimp. He looked amazing. He was wearing this like fucking 70s style suit and these like butterfly collar shirt, and I was like, yes, serving all the looks. And it was beautiful because the dream, the message was celebrate, right? When you're visited and you're looking for who's present, and it was the entire family. Who was present? What was the mood? What was the feeling? It wasn't somber. It was exciting. It was fun. Like, I didn't want to miss a moment. And so that's the message, right? Don't miss a moment. Don't miss a moment of life. Alicia, don't miss a moment. Don't miss a moment. Because we're missing out. We're missing out. As we begin meditating this morning, let's open our heart. Let's open our heart and let's think about the things that we need to release. Let's think about and reflect on the moments that we have missed out on, the experiences that we have missed out on, the opportunities that we have missed out on, because we're not living with authenticity, because we're not living in integrity, because we are not telling the truth in our daily living. How have we missed moments? And let's allow this session to release it, to surrender, to cry over it, to shed it, so that we can allow it to die and give birth to something new. I want to start in child's pose today. Let's start in child's pose. And as we lay here for a moment, let's set an intention for this day, for this practice. What messages are we sending our body? What are we calling forth? What do we need more of? What are we ready for? Are here. My girls are here. Let's come up the table. Let's just move into a cat-cow, right? So let's inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's rotate our hips to the left. Let's rotate to the right. Let's press up to downward dog. Walk your feet up or hop up to your hands. Hang here and let's come up slowly. Inhale, one vertebrae at a time. Let's go slowly. Let's stand in mountain pose. Firmly planted, grounded in the earth. We are grounded in the earth. And we are about to salute the sun, and we're going to inhale up and reach, palms together, fingers pointed up. And we give thanks and praise, and we are grateful because we are moving. Let's fold forward, slowly inhale, exhale, come down, grab your thigh, your calves, grab your ankles, touch the floor, bend your knee, however you're comfortable. And hang here for a minute, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Come up halfway. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Come down. Let's come into a plank. Left foot back. Right foot back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Knees on the mat. Come down, head on the mat. Come up to half cobra, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Come down. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Come up to cobra. Your feet up to your hands. Stand here. Come up. Inhale. Arms up. Arms down. Hands to heart. Let's move into warrior. Both feet facing front, facing forward. Right foot out. Left foot stays straight this way. Bend your knee over. Should be over your big toe. Your arms up to your shoulders. Look to your right and inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Leg up. Down. Turn. Arms up. Let's forward fold. Fold. Touch the ground. Dangle here. Come up. Turn your left foot out. Bend your knee over your toe. Inhale, arms up. Look to your left, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Forward fold. Arms up. Bring your feet together. Let's turn. Ooh. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bend your knees a little. Try to touch the ground. Exhale, come down. Bend your knees. And let's come up to chair. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Arms down. Let's come into plank. Left foot back, right foot back. Bring our knees down. Bring our thighs down. Bring our head down. Come up to half cobra. Fold. Back down. Hop on all fours. Let's come to child's. Also put your arms to your side. Let's come up to seated. Grab your strap. Inhale, let's forward fold. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Bring your right knee up. Left arm wrapped around your right knee. Right arm behind your back. And let's turn to the left and gentle stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Further stretch, look over your shoulder. Release your legs. The more we do this, the more flexible we become. I feel the difference just doing it 6 days in a row. Left knee up. Right arm wraps around the left knee. Left arm behind your back. Look to the left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Look over your shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Release your legs. Let's bring them together. Gentle stretch. We've waken up the body. That's what we're doing. We're just waking up the body. Gentle poses, gentle stretch, honoring our sacred vessel. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, come down, come forward. Your hands on your mat. You can put your head on your block. Whatever position, you can adjust. Whatever feels good for you. Come up. Inhale. And come down and walk the hands as far as you can go. Just walk your middle. And come back. And we can sit here and just seated meditation, or you can lay in corpse. And we're gonna move into reading bell hooks this morning. Let's go. Let's go. Page 69. Chapter 5, Maferefun, Ochun. Spirituality. Say that again, one time. spirituality, divine love, open quote. As a woman and a lover, however, I am moved by the sight of my beloved. Where he is, I want to be. What he suffers, I want to share. Who he is, I want to be. Crucified for love. Saint Teresa of Avila. Excuse me. Page 71. Living life in touch with divine spirit lets us see the light of love in all living beings. That light is a resurrecting life force. A culture that is dead to love can only be resurrected by spiritual awakening. On the surface, it appears that our nation has gone so far down the road of secular individualism, worshiping the twin gods of money and power, that there seems to be no place for spiritual life. Yet an overwhelming majority of Americans who express faith in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, or other religious traditions clearly believe that spiritual life is important. This crisis of American life does not seem to be generated by a lack of interest in spirituality. However, this interest is constantly co-opted by the powerful forces of materialism and hedonistic consumerism. Hang on 1 minute, I gotta write a note. I'm going to read that again. This is an important chapter. Living life in touch with divine spirit lets us see the light of love in all living beings. That light is a resurrecting life force. A culture that is dead to love can only be resurrected by spiritual awakening. Wake up. On the surface, it appears that our nation has gone so far down the road of secular individualism, worshiping the twin gods of money and power, that there seems to be no place for spiritual life. Yet, an overwhelming majority of Americans who express faith in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, or other religious traditions clearly believe that spiritual life is important. The crisis of American life does not seem to be generated by a lack of interest in spirituality. However, this interest is constantly co-opted by the powerful forces of materialism and hedonistic consumerism. We are being blindsided. We are being blinded. Drinking the Kool-Aid. In the conclusion to his insightful work, The Art of Loving, written in the mid-50s, but still relevant to today's world, psychoanalyst Erich Fromm courageously calls at our attention to the reality that the principle underlying capitalistic society and the principle of love are incompatible. He contends our society is run by a managerial bureaucracy, by professional politicians, people who are motivated by mass suggestion. Their aim is producing more and consuming more as purposes in themselves. The cultural emphasis on endless consumption deflects attention from spiritual hunger. Yes. We are endlessly bombarded by messages telling us that our every need can be satisfied by material increase. Artist Barbara Kruger created a work proclaiming, "I shop, therefore I am," to show the way consumerism has taken over mass consciousness, making people think they are what they possess. While the zeal to possess intensifies, so does the sense of spiritual emptiness. Because we are spiritually empty, we try to fill up on consumerism. Hello. Because we are spiritually empty, we try to fill up on consumerism. We may not have enough love, but we can always shop. Our national spiritual hunger springs from a keen awareness of the emotional lack in our lives. It is a response to lovelessness. Going to church or temple has not satisfied this hunger, surfacing from deep within our souls. Organized religion has failed to satisfy spiritual hunger because it has accommodated secular demands, interpreting spiritual life in ways that uphold the values of a production-centered commodity culture. This is as true of the traditional Christian church as it is of New Age spirituality. It is no accident that so many famous New Age spiritual teachers link their teachings to a metaphysics of daily life that extols the virtues of wealth, privilege, and power. For example, consider New Age logic, which suggests that the poor have chosen to be poor, have chosen this suffering. Such thinking removes all of us who are privileged the burden of accountability. Rather than calling us to embrace love and greater community, it actually requires an investment in the logic of alienation and estrangement. The basic interdependency of life is ignored so that separateness and individual gain can be deified. Religious fundamentalism is often represented as authentic spiritual practice and given a level of mass media exposure that countercultural religious thought and practice never receive. Usually, fundamentalists, be they Christian, Muslim, or any faith, shape and interpret religious thought to make it conform to and legitimize a conservative status quo. Fundamentalist thinkers use religion to justify supporting imperialism, militarism, sexism, racism, homophobia. They deny the unifying message of love that is at the heart of every major religious tradition. No wonder then that so many people who claim to believe in religious teachings do not allow their habits of being to reflect these beliefs. For example, the Christian church remains one of the most racially segregated institutions in our society. In Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter to American Christians, in which he assumes the persona of the biblical apostle Paul, he admonishes believers for supporting segregation. Americans, I must urge you to be rid of every aspect of segregation. Segregation is a blatant denial of the unity which we have in Christ. It substitutes an it relationship for the thou relationship and relegates persons to the status of things. It scars the soul and degrades the personality. It destroys community and makes brotherhood impossible. This is only one example of the way in which organized religious worship corrupts and violates religious principles about how we should live in the world and how we should act toward one another. Imagine how different our lives would be if all the individuals who claim to be Christians or who claim to be religious were setting an example for everyone by being loving. Blatant misuses of spirituality and religious faith could lead us to despair about spiritual life if we were not simultaneously witnessing a genuine concern for spiritual awakening expressed counterculturally. Whether it is the American Buddhists working in solidarity to free Tibet, or the many Christian-based organizations that provide support in the way of food and shelter for the needy globally. These embodiments of love practice renew our hope and restore the soul. All around the world, liberation theology offers the exploited and oppressed a vision of spiritual freedom that is linked to struggles to end domination. A little more than 10 years after Fromm first published The Art of Loving, Martin Luther King Jr.'s collection of sermons, Strength, Wait, let me start again. A little more than 10 years ago, Fromm first published The Art of Loving, Martin Luther King Jr.'s collection of sermons titled Strength to Love was published. The major focus of these talks was the celebration of love as a spiritual force that unites and binds all life. Like Fromm's earlier work, these essays champion spiritual life, critiquing capitalism, materialism, and the violence used to enforce exploitation and dehumanization. In a 1967 lecture opposing war, King declared, "When I speak of love, I am not speaking of some sentimental and weak response. I am speaking of that force, which all of the great religions have seen as the supreme unifying principle of life. Love is somehow the key that unlocks the door which leads to ultimate reality. This Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist belief about ultimate reality is beautifully summed up in the first epistle of St. John. Let us love one another, for love is God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God." Throughout his life, King was a prophet of love. In the late 70s, when it was no longer cool to talk about spirituality, I find myself turning again and again to his work and to the work of Thomas Merton. As religious seekers and thinkers, both men focused attention on the practice of love as a means of spiritual fulfillment. Ache. Let me see where we are, where I want to stop. Extolling the transformative power of love in his essay, Love and Need, Merton writes, Love is, in fact, an intensification of life, a completeness, a fullness, a wholeness of life. Life curves upward to a peak of intensity, a high point of value and meaning, at which all its latent creative possibility go into action and the person transcends himself or herself in encounter, response, and communion with one another. It is for this that we came into the world, this communion and self-transcendence. We do not become fully human until we give ourselves to each other in love. The teachings about love offered from King and Merton differ from much of today's writing. There's always an emphasis in their work on love as an active force that should lead us into greater communion with the world. In their work, loving practice is not aimed at simply giving an individual greater life satisfaction. It is extolled as the primary way we end domination and oppression. This important politicization of love is often absent from today's writing. Much as I enjoy popular New Age commentary on love, I am often struck by the dangerous narcissism fostered by spiritual rhetoric that pays so much attention to individual self-improvement and so little to the practice of love within the context of community. Ache. Are you letting her out?
She has to have her diaper changed.
Are you letting the beast out?
She has to have her diaper changed.
Okay. Good morning, Momoys.
She peed through her stuff.
Ah! Quítate el pampel. She can't come out on camera. Quítate el pampel. Go ahead. Go ahead, lay down on the couch.
Are you on camera?
Yeah.
Where's the couch? It's here, baby.
Come, siéntate. Con Courtney.
She's taking it off. Where's her pamper?
In the bathroom, in the basket.
Bang, baby. Come.
I love you, baby. I love you, Momors. I love you, Momors.
Bang, baby. Yeah.
The gang's all here. Go ahead, Momors. Quítate el pamper. Come on.
Do you have any more wipes?
There should be a full one. Momors. Huh? You all up on top of me. Momors. I love you, Momors.
Apple.
You can have an apple in a second. Uh-huh.
Apple.
Go ahead, go with Courtney. Niña. Ve, quítate el pamper.
Elena.
Vete. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you. Girl,
She's not trying to do
just grab her, man. Snatch her up. Snatch her up. Pick her up. She ain't stronger than you. My daughters. Much as I enjoy popular New Age commentary on love, I am often struck by the dangerous narcissism fostered by spiritual rhetoric that pays so much attention to individual self-improvement and so little to the practice of love within the context of community. Packaged as a commodity, spirituality becomes so different from an exercise program. While it may leave the consumer feeling better about his or her life, its power to enhance our communion with ourselves and others in a sustained way is inhibited. Commenting on the value of an engaged life in the active life, wisdom for work, creativity, and caring, Palmer writes, to be fully alive is to act. I understand action to be any way that we can co-create reality with other beings and the spirit. Ache, yes. To be fully alive is to act. I understand action to be any way that we can co-create reality with other beings and the spirit. Action, like a sacrament, is the visible form of an invisible spirit, an outward manifestation of an inward power. But as we act, we not only express what is in us and help give shape to the world, we also receive what is outside us and reshape our inner selves. That was beautiful. A commitment to a spiritual life requires us to do more than read a book or go on a restful retreat. It requires conscious practice. Constant, continuous, committed. It requires conscious practice, a willingness to unite the way we think with the way we act. A union, right? A marriage, a vow. Spiritual life is first and foremost about commitment to a way of thinking and behaving that honors principles of interbeing and interconnectedness. When I speak of spiritual, I refer to the recognition within everyone that there is a place of mystery in our lives where forces that are beyond human desire or will. When I speak of spiritual, I refer to the recognition within everyone that there is a place of mystery in our lives where forces that are beyond human desire or will alter circumstances and or guide and direct us. I call these forces divine spirit. When we choose to lead a spirit-filled life, we recognize and celebrate the presence of transcendent spirits, eggun, orisha, loas, whatever our practice is. Allah, Olofi, Olorun, Olodumare, source, force, the universe, creator. Pick a term. Some people call this presence soul, God, the beloved, higher consciousness, or higher power. Still others say that this force is what it is because it cannot be named. To them, it is simply the spirit moving in us and through us. A commitment to spiritual life necessarily means we embrace the eternal principle that love is all, everything, our true destiny. Despite overwhelming pressure to conform to the culture of lovelessness, we still seek to know love. That seeking is itself a manifestation of divine spirit. Life-threatening nihilism abounds in contemporary culture, crossing the boundaries of race, class, gender, and nationality. At some point, it affects all our lives. Everyone I know is at times brought low by feelings of depression and despair about the state of the world, whether it is an ongoing worldwide presence of violence expressing by the persistence of man-made war, hunger, and starvation, the day-to-day reality of violence, the presence of life-threatening diseases that cause the unexpected deaths of friends, comrades, and loved ones, there is much that brings everyone to the brink of despair. That's where we at. We at the fucking brink of despair, yo. Knowing love, or the hope of knowing love, is the anchor. Knowing love, or the hope of knowing love, is the anchor that keeps us from falling into the sea of despair. In A Path with Heart, Jack Kornfield shares the longing for love and the movement of love is underneath all our activities. The TV, turn it on. Go ahead. Look. Go to YouTube. And then go to search when you get there. And then when you go to search, it should be there already where it says ABC songs. And then it's Cocomelon. 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 There it is. Yay. Sit down con Courtney. Siéntate. Siéntate con Courtney. Siéntate allá. ¿No te sientes en el piso?
Baby.
Siéntate. All right, family. We're going to close out. We're going to pick up tomorrow. I'm going to ring us out. Let's close out. The babies are up. Babies are up. Let's close out. That line, what brings us to the brink of despair, right? So much. I love this line. To be fully alive is to act. I understand action to be any way that we can co-create reality with other beings and spirit. Action, like a sacrament, is the visible form of an invisible spirit, an outward manifestation of an inward power. But as we act, we not only express what is within us and help give shape to the world, we also receive what is outside us and reshape our inner selves. So, today I will be fully alive. Today I will be fully alive and I will take action. Today I will know that I am co-creating my reality with other spiritual beings. Today I will practice and honor my rituals and discipline like a sacrament. How I feel inwardly is how I will express myself outwardly. Everything I do and say is a manifestation of what I want to experience and what I want to share and give the world. I am committed to my healing. I am committed to self-love. I am committed to loving others. I am willing to shift, to shed, to allow the old parts of me to die and give birth to a more beautiful, more authentic version of myself. Ache, Amen, Namaste, and so it is. Let me go because these girls are gonna be like, I'm hungry and we got to go. I'm wishing you a beautiful, beautiful day. Please leave your comments and any questions or comments so we can have dialogue. I'm gonna post this video right now. And we're going to continue talking and pick up dogs tomorrow. I love y'all. Have a beautiful day. Ache.